r/AskReddit, what was the worst item you got when going out trick or treating? A package of onion soup mix. A pamphlet telling me I was going to hell and that Halloween is about Satan worship. I was 10. A rock. A penny. 1 penny. From a doctor. My mom telling me every year that I don't like Twix so I should give all mine to her. To the point of me making sure I always picked a few Twix to bring home to her. Then in high school my teacher was handing out candy and decided to try a Twix. It was delicious and I realized my mom was lying to me all those years. Chick tracts. Last year my nephew got a packet of olive oil from one house, a packet of active yeast from another house, and store flyers from another house. One kid in the group got a can of spam. There's a story behind it though. I was the parent walking around with a group of 5 kids. It was late, and people had already started turning their porch lights off for the night. We get to one house, and the homeowner only has 4 treats left, and there were 5 kids. So he goes back into the house and comes out with a can of spam. Better than nothing, right? Also, sorry. Turns out one kid in the group loved spam, and he begged to be the one who got the can. That crap wrapped in the orange and black wrappers. No one likes those. Expired coupon to Wendy's. Worst thing I got for Halloween? My foot run over by my friend's mom's SUV. An apple with a nickel shoved in it. The apple was all brown around the nickel. It was gross. Toothpaste. Caramel onion disguised as a caramel apple. When I was a kid we had a neighbor 3 doors down or so who was a single elderly woman, probably in her 80s. When we knocked she either forgot it was Halloween or didn't anticipate anyone showing up at her house. Didn't have any candy but she gave us homemade raisin oatmeal cookies. As a kid I'm sure I thought that was pretty lame but now as an adult I think what a sweet old woman. Face with tears of joy. Saltine crackers wrapped individually in plastic wrap. A fucking coupon for a chimney cleaning service. Moldy orange. Some guy was giving out tricks, I believe I got a light switch plate, sad face. A chocolate bar expired 13 years ago, I live in a country where Halloween is not popular. Small book of random Bible verses. My gluttonous buddy was left in charge of handing out candy on Halloween. He ended up eating all of the treats quite early on in the evening. So he wrapped up ice cubes in tinfoil and handed those out all night. Black licorice. Circus peanuts. A religious pamphlet about how I'm probably going to hell for participating in Halloween LOL. When I was in 8th grade, a group of about 10 older high school students picked me out. When I realized they were serious, I threw my bag of sweets all over the ground and turned to go. I stared at them in disbelief. When I arrived, I almost immediately made all of it back with my sob tale because my sister was acquainted with the owner of the house where a lot of king-sized bars are given free. Raw candies. Raisins. Last year while taking my kids out for Halloween they were given a raw egg at one house. A different and much cooler house was handing out beers for the parents. A ticket for a free car wash. A condom and a wink. A small slip advertising a mega church. A hairbrush. 1 raw egg. I got a potato once. Also a pair of, albeit new, socks. Which seems okay but they were adult men's socks so pretty useless for an elementary aged girl. In fairness, though, my hometown is really small so we went to every house, including rental cabins for people who were out here hunting. We ended up with some weird shit because these people were not prepared for trick-or-treaters. Mary Jane's because, IIRC, they were nasty tasting. Bleh. Best was probably the entire loaf of bread, because though it was absolutely hilarious, that some guy gave us when we showed up after 11 p.m. at his house and he gave it to us because he was out of candy. IIRC, I got a loaf of bread, my sister got a party-size bag of Cool Ranch Doritos and her friend got a party-size bag of nacho cheese Doritos from the same dude. Someone put an apple in my favorite flavor of razor blades pouting face. Those dang raisins. An onion. It wasn't what I got, but how I was treated. Was in my early teens, and I've always been a tall person, even as a teenager. Went up to one house. Old guy opens the door, take one look at me, and says you're too old. And shuts the door in my face. Well, fuck you too. Walnuts. A toothbrush from the dentist a few houses down from mine. I got a rock. Religious pamphlets. I got a rock. Religious pamphlet about the evils of Halloween. Bit oh honey. Fake money with Bible verses on them. Face with rolling eyes. Number 3 pencil. It's funny now though, good trick. But child me was like WTH is this BS. We were around 5-6 years old trick or treating, and one house beside our apartments have out apples. My friend was eating just and it had a sewing needle in it. He pulled it out and threw the apple at the house. We were young and didn't know much about what to do in these situations, other than retaliate, and use swear words. Fun-sized candy. There's nothing fun about a quarter of a candy bar. Ice. Covered, not me but a friend's kid. Teenagers answered door and came back with a rock covered in tinfoil and dropped in my bag. Opened it when I got to sidewalk, saw the rock and threw it through bay window and ran for my life. Got away with it? Pennies. Like WTH am I going to do with that? Mini Bible. An unwrapped cough drop. Once got a pamphlet for some fundamentalist Christian group. Might have been Foursquare, but don't quite remember. I visited this one house that had a bunch of beer cans on their porch and it was really sketchy. They gave me a bunch of candy and I thought I had hit the jackpot. Once we were in the car later that night I opened some of the candy pieces and it turns out that they ate all the candy and reseled the wrappers. A religious pamphlet. Religious text on a card. I had a neighbor who was a dentist. He'd hand out travel toothpastes attached to his business card. His house also got egged regularly. It wasn't me, but I wasn't mad at the kids that did it. Apples. But I'm so old I can remember my grandma handing out homemade treats like caramel apples and Rice Krispie treats. Toothbrush with a Bible verse attached to it. We were 11 and the old bitch wouldn't give us anything because we were too old. 1968, I was 7. Someone gave out Nixon/Agnew campaign buttons. Just what a 7-year-old wants. One of those Bible tracts. Bible tracts. Anything that wasn't chocolate, caramel, and / or toffee related. A bag of pretzels. An apple. Where's my candy, you son of a bitch? Toothbrush and floss from a dentist neighbor. Mary Jane and not the good kind. There's a special place in hell for people who think kids enjoy Heath bars. I'm Australian. So this question makes no sense to me. Apple. Individual candy corn and hot sauce from Taco Bell. I stopped eating candy like right after that. Expired ice cream cups. A tract about a homeless kid dying. The worst thing I ever got trick-or-treating was a toothbrush. Like, come on, Halloween's all about candy, not dental hygiene. A pocket-size copy of the New Testament. Toothbrush. Pennies. Loose peanuts in the shell. Worst, a toothbrush. Best, a can of beer. Local dentist gave out toothbrushes. Luckily he never got egged or TP'd. I remember an old lady handing out homemade candy apples. She meant well, but the apples were nasty. An old lady put cookies fresh off the cookie sheet straight into my bag. Needless to say, they became a pile of crumbs in the bottom of my bag at the end of the night. I also got a toothbrush from the local dentist. LOL. A Bible. A packet of Easy Mac powder, without the noodles. The flu. Tootsie Rolls. I have never liked them. Fortunately, I could always trade with my brother for better candies. A carrot. Stale loose raisins. A paperclip. Why even answer the door if you have no candy to give? Never made sense to me. Someone emptied their ashtray in my candy bag as a kid. An apple. Expired Easter bunny, make up with a business card, little baggie full of change and just the weird half-open stuff I've never seen at any store ever. Where did you get this from? An empty can of Orange Crush soda. Coin/spare change. Toothbrush. A crappy toothbrush from the neighborhood dentist. Package of baby carrots. A fish head. My grandpa was a dentist and my grandma was a nurse. They'd hand out stacks of pennies and sugar-free candy. Not the most popular house on the block. I always once got nothing. They said they forgot it was Halloween. Like, really? One house would always give out popcorn balls. It was to be avoided. And I vaguely remember those like wax Coke bottles. Also, there was a weird house that would fill surgical gloves with Red Hots and circus peanuts. Looked like a bloody hand, and immediately went into the trash. Who thinks putting unwrapped candy into a powdered surgical glove is a good idea? In the 70s my mom was a city hostess that had a deal with the local bakery so that she got loaves of bread to hand out to newcomers. So yeah, she handed out loaves of bread. Mike and Ike's. Edit, I meant good and plenty. Although Mike and Ike's are no prize either. I don't know if it's worst or best, but took my kid out trick-or-treating one year, and the guy was caught off guard I guess and scrambled a bit before he gave my kid a package of ramen noodles. Popcorn balls. I just don't like them. One day my kids got glass bottles of tonic water. Imagine little kids, 4 and 5 years old, walking down the driveway and I hear a clink, 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 with each step. Stop them and they say he gave us waters with tears in their eyes. Total grumpy old man moment. I still laugh every time I think about it. Jack Chick comics from my Bible thumper step-grandmother. Preachy old bat. A quarter. I was 6 and my friends all got candy. And I got a fucking quarter. Better go buy myself something nice. An orange. Threw it back at the window. Hot cinnamon flavored candies can literally burn in hell for all I care. A lady sprayed us with perfume. I guess her idea of a trick? She actually chased us kids. We had a lady in our neighborhood who gave out popcorn balls that were so hard you'd lose a tooth if you tried to eat them. Dots. A popcorn ball covered in cayenne pepper and vanilla extract. Candy corn nauseated face. A ball of sticky popcorn. It was a homemade thing and mom tossed it out, but it was sticky and weird. LOL, I'm guessing it was either caramel or marshmallow glazed popcorn. A toothbrush. I had to sing for candy. I got an onion once from my great aunt on my first Halloween, and I was taught to be polite and followed it at the time, and I said thank you. She did end up taking it back and giving me a Snickers, but I had to be called back because I was starting to leave as I thought I was just getting the onion. Raisins. Whoever these people are, they're evil. Reminds me of a story. There was a man on our street who was famous for yelling candy rots your teeth at kids if they dared trick or treat at his house. One day I was hanging out with a group of kids in the front yard of one I didn't know too well, which was right across the street from this guy's house. He came outside and one of the girls decided to yell candy rots your teeth at him, and of course he immediately came over. Everybody else ran into the house and locked me out. This guy got in my face and screamed at me for like a minute before leaving. I wasn't happy with the other kids for leaving me out there, LOL. Pears. A rock. That candy in the orange and black wax paper. Raisins. Those stupid popcorn balls. Little prep act, stale, bland AF balls of popcorn. Even the dog didn't want to fuck with it. A concussion, fucking rock-throwing teenagers. A hole in the bottom of my bag that slowly leaked probably half of my candy by the time I got home. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this video and subscribe to never miss an upload.